So I'm watching this video by a man by the name of Boogie2988, and apparently he's kind of a big deal on YouTube with 503,201 subscribers. And he recently makes this video, and it's been going around, it's been being passed around like a fucking joint. And apparently it's inspiring. Actually, I find it to be more annoying and insulting than anything. And it just completely rubs me the wrong way. This entire video does. And it's his video on fat shaming and making fun of fat people, and the entire thing just reeks of pandering to emotion and pity. And ironically, I'm eating pizza for breakfast as I'm making this video and drinking an Arnold Palmer. And you have to excuse me, folks. I just woke up. As you see, my room's in disarray, and I was too lazy to clean it up this morning. But whatever. And I'm watching this video, and I'd show it on here, but I'm not sure how he is with, false flagging or whatever. Instead, I'll send you a direct link so that you can check for yourself and make up your own conclusion. But I just couldn't stop facepalming. In this video, he talks about how he used to be friends with this one guy who did nothing but make fun of him for his weight, and how often he ran out of breath while walking. And he finally confronts his friend and says, what the fuck is your problem? And the friend says, I'm concerned for you. You're so fucking fat, it disgusts me, and you need to stop being fat. And the guy goes, and Boogie goes on to say that, being stressed makes him eat. And his friend just made him more stressed, so he ate more, and he's fat, and he stopped being friends with that person. Now, I can understand that his friend's an asshole. I've actually been in friendships that were detrimental to me, where friends have done nothing but make fun of me for my weight. I've been bullied for my weight. And, so at that point I can understand where he's coming from. However, it's toward the end of this video that I just couldn't feel bad for him anymore, because he takes off his shirt. Yes, folks, I do have nipples. He takes off his shirt and he shows off his body, and he's got these big Abdullah the Butcher-sized man tits. If you know who Abdullah the Butcher is, he's a famous wrestler known in Japanese promotions. He shows it off, and he goes to say, I hate my giant man tits. I hate how my stomach practically touches the floor. I hate this body, but I'm not ashamed of it. And I'm just thinking, if you hate yourself this much, this entire video is contradictory. If you hate this video so much, then, if you hate yourself this much, then why are you not doing something about it? But on that same token, if you're not ashamed of this body, then why even make this fucking video? The entire time during this video, he was just making excuses for why he was fat. Oh, sure, he acknowledged that there was a problem, and I commend him for that. But on that same token, he kept trying to shift the blame to other things, like, oh, well, stress makes me fat, or stress makes me eat, and people calling me names makes me stressed, therefore I eat a lot. Oh, fuck you. Allegedly, stress causes you to eat, and you hate it when people call you names because it makes you stressed out, so you eat. But wouldn't the perfect fuck you to those people be to stop eating and actually progress with your life and try to lose weight while they're stuck in ignorance? Seriously, it's not empowering to yourself to give in like that. If you want to lose weight, having people powder your ass, patting your head, and putting e-band-aids on your boo-boos isn't going to cut it. In fact, it's going to make it worse. No, it's not okay to shame someone and to make fun of someone for being fat, but neither is blind positive reinforcement. These idiots on his channel telling him, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, you're beautiful, don't listen to the haters, and yet the second don't listen to the haters, mean language, mean comments are bad, and yet the second someone like me comes around and tells him to stop fucking blaming everything else but himself for his weight and actually do something about it, those same people who say that mean comments are bad are now telling us to go kill ourselves. Don't you just love the internet? He blames his weight on other people making fun of him, claiming that stress makes him eat. Then stop fucking eating then. If you want to lose weight, only you, have to make the initiative to lose it your damn self. I get that he doesn't like being made fun of. I get that. I get that his friend was an asshole, and it's good that he dropped him like a sack of hammers. But if he really wants to make a change, rallying a pity party on YouTube isn't going to do him any ounce of good. And like I said before, making fun of people relentlessly isn't going to help, but neither is blind positive reinforcement. By them saying that, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, keep doing what you're doing, they're basically encouraging him to slowly kill himself. He's acknowledged that there's a problem, and he admits that it starts with him, but he's not doing anything to rectify it. In fact, this video that he made probably made it worse. At this point, he has no one to blame for his weight but himself. He's appealing to the white knights of his channel, and it's only going to do him more harm than good. You see, the reason why I hate white knights in general, white knights, social justice warriors, whatever, is that they think they can solve the world's problems by putting an internet band-aid on things. They think they can solve the greatest problems in our society by telling people to shut up. Instead, putting an internet band-aid on things. Like, oh, you don't have a problem? They do. Here, let me just fill you up with, misguided positive reinforcement until you slowly kill yourself by eating yourself to death because we told you to. They think they're actually helping him by telling him that there's nothing wrong with him. There is something clearly wrong with him, and it's his gigantic weight. He admits that there's a problem that he has. He acknowledges that problem, and I commend him for that. But he doesn't seem to want to do anything to rectify it. And that, my friends, is why I cannot feel a single ounce of pity for this man. This video is the living embodiment of being an attention whore. He couldn't, that fucking sad piano music and the crocodile tears. He couldn't ham it up more if he was made of bacon. Fat shaming, it's bad, okay? I'll admit. Fat shaming is bad. When you look at someone who's slightly overweight and you make them feel terrible for it, and where you look at a girl who has low self-esteem to begin with, and she doesn't like this, she's a couple pounds overweight, and you tell her that she's not beautiful because of that, that's bad, that's terrible, but there has to be a line that needs to be drawn. If you're so fat and lazy that you use a scooter to get around, something that should only be reserved for the legit crippled and the elderly, and you picked handicap spots because you're too lazy to walk an extra meter, then maybe you should be ashamed of yourself. Maybe you should look in the mirror and look at yourself and go, Christ, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I'm talking about people who did it to their damn selves, who knowingly and willingly, ate like fucking 10 boxes of this because they were hungry or because they were sad, and they do this and they do it to themselves. I'm not talking about people who have a medical condition that makes them balloon like a fucking balloon. Like, something that they can't help, something that they can't stop. I'm talking about people who eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and just constantly, swell up. Not because of any medical condition, but because of this asshole, because of stuff that this asshole admits to doing. I saw, when you see pictures of these gigantic people on hover-rounds, and like at Walmart or some shit. It just blows my mind how you can get to that point and not have a medical condition to excuse it. Like, I saw a picture of a woman who was, I kid you not, was probably about as big as my bed in one of those hover-round things. And she was just casually taking an entire block of cheese and snacking on it like a fucking Kit Kat bar. And behind her was a bag, behind her, hanging on one of the one of the handles for the actually it was a wheelchair. On the wheelchair was a plastic bag with a box of Cheez-Its in it. I'm sorry, that shit is disgusting. It blows my mind how people can get to that point. And some people do it on purpose because they're trying to get attention. And all they're doing is hurting the ones that they claim to love. And that leads me to the next part of this video, fat activism and fat oppression. Now, one of the more recent trends that I've witnessed in the world of social justice and white knighting is a movement known as fat activism. People within this movement are absolutely convinced that bigger people are being oppressed and pushed around at the same or similar rate of homosexuals, battered women, transgendered people, and minority groups, as in the injustice that these four groups suffer is on par with the injustice and minor inconveniences that fat people suffer. I wish I was fucking kidding, folks. These misguided fools have it in their heads that whenever fat people get denied service at a restaurant for eating too much fucking food, or forced to buy an extra seat at an airplane because their ass takes up two of them, kicked out of a gym for busting up the equipment, or even simply being called overweight by their doctor because they fucking are, they are being oppressed by the thin, privileged hate machine. As someone who is of considerable weight myself, I say that this is a load of complete and utter horseshit. These fat activists take the phrase inner beauty and take it to the most literal extremes. They look at someone like Francis here, what the fuck is his name? Like Boogie2988, and they say to them, don't listen to the experts. You are beautiful. You are gorgeous. Keep eating those Big Macs if it makes you feel good. And they wonder why that person drops dead at age 30. These idiots are dangerous because, like the gang stalking epidemic that Jim81 Jim, or the internet aristocrat, talked about, they convince naive and easily swayed people that everyone is out to get them, and shame them for who they are, even their closest friends, family members, and doctors. Guys, beauty is subjective, but personal health isn't. When a doctor sits you down and tells you that you need to lose weight, he or she isn't saying that because they think you're too fat to be beautiful or gorgeous. They're saying that because you need to lose weight or your fucking heart will explode. I know some friends who are around my build and even bigger, and I think they're wonderful people, but when I see someone who is so fat that riding a motorized scooter around town is considered a good workout to them, I shudder in disgust, and I wonder why the fuck they would even do that to themselves. One time I saw a woman on Dr. Oz who was so morbidly obese that her triglyceride level, that's the fats in her blood, was over 500. She literally had cream and crystallized blood sugar flowing through her veins. And it was absolutely disgusting, and even with this info, she was convinced that she was completely healthy, saying that people still find her sexy on her webcam site. There's a difference between being admired as a person and idolized as a sexual fetish. They don't give a shit about you as a person. They just want to watch you stuff your face until your heart gets out. No one is oppressing you. You aren't denied the right to vote because you're fat. No one is preventing you from getting married because you're fat. No one is protesting your funeral because you're fat. The Ku Klux Klan isn't going to show up at your house and burn a cross or throw Molotovs because you're fat. No one is denying your right as a fat person to use the bathroom. No one is preventing you from holding office for being fat. No one is firing you on the basis that you are fat. No one is killing you as part of a hate crime for being fat. Minor inconveniences and rude name-calling aren't a sign of oppression, so stop fucking acting like it is. I'm on the path to losing weight. Not because I'm shamed into doing so, or because I'm being oppressed by the thin, privileged hate machine, or because I'm trying to conform to societal norms. I'm doing it because I don't have plans of dying of a heart attack before I'm 30.